I survived Comic-Con and I got souvenirs! Hi, I'm Jason Inman, I like to read comic books. That's why in the week of July 30th, I decided to read all the DC New 52 comic books that were published in the world. I'm going to give each of these a buy it, borrow it from a friend, or a skip it rating. But before I get to that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books and we do too. Now enough of this jibba jabba, let's get on to my reviews. Aquaman Annual number 2. Basically, this issue should just be called Aquaman and Wonder Woman fight mythical creatures and then Mera shows up, because that's basically all of this issue. Annuals sometimes can be just issues that are throwaway issues or special issues, but the great writers sometimes will include them into the main thrust of their story. Now that's not to say that this book is bad. It is a solid tale of Aquaman and Wonder Woman kind of sort of meeting on their days off and finding mythical creatures. Like, I liked Aquaman's casual clothing except for his green gloves, but there's not a lot to this besides they just fight the creatures and punch them in the face. And at the very end, Mera gets very exhausted and Wonder Woman has to carry her away. That's it. If you really like Aquaman, this book is for you. Otherwise, I would say skip it. Batman Eternal number 17. What a weird yet cool issue of Batman Eternal. We have 3 different storylines going on at the same time. We got Red Robin and Harper Row in Tokyo learning about nanotech. We have Batwing and Jim Corrigan in the basements. And we have Batman himself locked up and prisoner by the Great Deacon. This is a very dark and gritty issue of Batman Eternal, and it's very emphasized by the storyline of Batman versus the Deacon, because Batman, when you first see him, just looks trash. He looks horrible. He's been beaten up. He's kind of bloody. He's kind of dirty. Probably hasn't showered in a couple of days. But then he triumphs. He triumphs, and you know what? It's this kooky, weird, small stuff that really makes Batman Eternal. I was not so much on the boat at the beginning of Batman Eternal, but I'll tell you what, this issue has really turned me around. This is a definite buy it. Detective Comics Annual number 3. The Batman sequences in this book have amazing art. The rest of the sequences in the book, not so much. This is the simple tale of Batman versus a lot of gangs with a little bit of Calendar Man thrown on, and he saves a little boy from his bad home situation. It's a pure and simple Batman tale, and sometimes that's all you need is pure and simple Batman. Batman just needs to throw his fist into the face for justice of different people and just save a little boy, because that has heart. If you're a huge Batman fan, this is a definite buy it. If you're not a huge Batman fan, I would say this is a borrow it from a friend. Harley Quinn number 8. Harley Quinn plays roller derby, then breaks her tooth, then gets on top of a rooftop and starts throwing meat at the various buildings around her. I am not even kidding. That is seriously the plot of this book. The only redeeming factor of this book is that one of the buildings that she throws meat on seems to be DC Comics, and there's Dan the Dio, and you can see Jim Lee and a couple other people in there, and Dan the Dio is pitching the new 52, created by Zebraman, I believe, and that scene is kind of funny, and it stops the reboot of the DC Universe because she throws meat against the window. Otherwise, skip this book and run away. Run away fast. Run, 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 skip it. Justice League number 32. If you definitely want to know which book is the linchpin of the DC Universe, it is definitely Justice League. There was so much set up in this issue that I think it's going to tell the tale of what's going to happen in the next 2 years of the DC New 52. Basically, this issue is all about that there is a new Power Ring. Power Ring is the Green Lantern from Earth 3, the Crime Syndicate universe. And it has found a new host. And Cyborg hacks it, and it gets inside, and you learn that the reason the Power Ring talks to him is that Volthoom, who from Jeff Johns' final Green Lantern story, who was the first Lantern, who the Guardians pulled the power of the emotional spectrum into their rings to do, is still in that ring. And he's been sort of killing his host, or trying to kill his host. But then he reveals that he's trying to lead the person who destroyed Earth 3 to the Prime Earth, to the main New 52 Earth. He's trying to light a fire that will burn throughout the multiverse, which I think is fantastic. It's awesome. That kind of got me in. Also, there's a new weird Doom Patrol. Shazam is with the Justice League. It's badass. This issue is actually really good and really powerful. And you know what? Lex Luthor shows up and threatens to blow through the spine of the chief of the Doom Patrol. I'm in. I'm excited. Is it going to be called Darkseid War like Bleeding Cool said, or is it just going to be a new crisis? I don't know. This sounds really cool. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Buy it. Red Lantern's Annual number 1. So Atrocitus is really pissed at the new Fu Manchu long-haired Guy Gardner who took over his Red Lanterns. So what does he do? He comes to Earth and he basically destroys it. Yep. He just knocks a lot of buildings down, kills a lot of people, and then he just throws the red rings to Earth like candy. Take a red ring, my children. Here you go. Although, you know, Atrocitus probably says it more demon-like, so he's like, take a red ring, my children. Oh, you know. So all these new humans become Red Lanterns, and they fly up. And Guy Gardner tries to stop this because he tries to convert some of the Red Lanterns to him. And Guy Gardner gets a small group, but Atrocitus apparently gets a giant army. So now we have a whole bunch of humans, Red Lanterns, led by Atrocitus, and we have a whole bunch of human Red Lanterns led by Guy Gardner. Here's the thing. I actually like this. It was actually a smart tale, and I'm very surprised that there wasn't a giant crossover. This actually happened in Red Lantern's Annual, like it's fit into the main storyline. They would normally call this like the Red Lantern Civil War or Civil Atrocitus War, something like that, some stupid title like that. But I like that it's in the actual pages of the issue. It's very cool, and it's a very big event. Like, we see Guy Gardner and Batman face off. We see cities destroyed. It's a major event. And you know what? I really dig it. This is a definite buy it. Sinestro number 4. And this issue definitely proves to me why this title is not needed. Why? Because nothing really happened here. Nothing important. I mean, all of this could have been told as a supporting tale in another book. We didn't need to see a full fight of Sinestro fighting these random guys, and then his daughter is just there, and then he goes out into space, and whoa, Hal Jordan's there. Gee golly whiz. Also, this issue has some very rushed and very not really great looking art from Rags Morales. And Rags Morales actually is a great artist. Identity Crisis, the beginning of Action Comics, he's really good, but he really seemed like somebody was insanely rushing him on this issue, and it didn't turn out this great. This is a definite skip it. The New 52 Futures End number 13. This book is kind of a mess, except for one scene where Tim Drake, who is now living under an alias and now is a bartender, his fiance and him are robbed, and they take her fiance's necklace, and we get a cool 2-page scene where he dresses up in a red hoodie and just kicks their ass, Batman style. That's right. We got an older Tim Drake, who I'm going to say is probably around 21, probably around Nightwing's age now, and he's older, and he's Batman-like. And he, like, just karate chops them, smashes their hands. It reminded me so much of Batman, and it reminded to me why Tim Drake is a great DC character. One of the best Robins. I know he's not my favorite Robin, but he's one of the best Robins. He's one of the best DC characters ever, and he's kind of been shafted by the New 52, which is kind of sad. So it's nice to see that this issue gives him a little moment to win, gives him a nice little moment to beat Batman and kick ass. The rest of this issue is a major skip it. And that's all my comic book reviews for July 30th. As always, go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book site where they know you love comics, and we do too. You can go there and you can read my San Diego Comic-Con breakdown. I wrote them on my panels and all stuff like that. I did. Fun time. Also, I have a podcast called Geek History Lesson. Me and my co-host, Ashley Victoria Robinson, we take one character from pop culture and we tell you their entire history. It's an educational and geeky podcast. Also, I just released a video that is about Hero Chest, a really cool subscription box service that's all comic book based, and I did the unboxing of their first Hero Chest. You should go check it out. Go click right there, go check it out. As always, leave me in the comments, tell me what you thought about these comic book reviews, tell me what you want me to review for the next week, and so on and so forth. Thank you all for your patience of watching these videos, and thank you all for loving comic books as much as I do too, as you do too, as we do. We all love to do comics together. Comics love. Let's do it together. Hey, you know what? This is my challenge for you this week. If you're still watching the video so far, you know what? Go introduce somebody who doesn't read comic books to comic books. Right now, do it this week. Give them a comic book, a really great one of your favorites, and get them to read it, you know? And let's spread the comic book love. I'm Jason Inman. Be seeing you.